Not everyone clapping for you wants you to win, and the moment you speak too soon, you invite hands that don't build, they break. That's why the strongest foundations are laid in silence, not hidden out of fear, but guarded out of wisdom. You don't announce the blueprint, you prove it with the finished product, because once it's built, once it's solid, once it's untouchable, they can doubt it, they can envy it, they can even hate it, but they can't stop it. So keep quiet, stay locked in, and build something they can't touch. Even with their loudest opinions, premature exposure kills powerful potential. Some things need time underground. Some visions need space to grow roots before they can bloom in public. Some goals die early because you gave the wrong people early access. They weren't ready for your dream, and your dream wasn't ready for their judgment. Not every idea deserves a round table. Not every plan needs applause before execution. Not every move has to be announced. Some moves are sacred. See, the most dangerous people in the room are the ones you never saw coming. They didn't show off. They didn't talk loud. They didn't broadcast every step. They were quiet, but calculated. They built in the shadows. They sharpened their edge in silence. They didn't tell the world what they were doing. They showed the world what was already done. Because silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. When you're quiet, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't owe answers for why you're unavailable, focused, or off the grid. You're not hiding. You're just protecting the process. Because in this world, attention is currency, and distraction is cheap. Every time you open your mouth about what you're going to do, you're making withdrawals from the energy you need to actually do it. It feels good, doesn't it, to get praised before it's real, to get liked before it's lived. But that dopamine, that's deception, because it fools your brain into thinking the work is already done. And then, your drive dies, your urgency weakens, your idea drowns in everyone else's opinions. So stop giving people access to the construction site. They don't see the vision, they don't carry the weight, they don't know what it takes to build this thing. And if you're not careful, their doubt will become your delay. You don't need their validation, you need your vision, you need your discipline, you need your silence. Because when it's built, when it's real, when it's bulletproof, you won't have to say a word. The results will be louder than their opinions ever were. This isn't about playing small, this is about playing smart. You don't need to be seen to be successful. You need to be grounded. You need to be clear. You need to be focused enough to let the work speak for itself. So don't announce your greatness. Become it. Don't rush your reveal. Refine your craft. Don't speak it. Build it. Because when your foundation is untouchable, it doesn't matter who shows up late to recognize it. By then, it's already done. Silence is the sanctuary of strategy. In a world obsessed with visibility, there's a quiet power in staying hidden. Most people think success starts with exposure. They believe if no one sees them rising, then it must not be real. So they post, they announce, they over-explain, hoping someone claps loud enough to keep them moving. The loudest builders rarely finish first. Why? Because they're too busy showing and not busy enough building. Silence isn't laziness. Silence is where strategy grows. It's where you sharpen the vision before the world starts questioning it. It's where you build your backbone before the crowd starts pushing against it. Think about this. The roots of a tree grow silently underground for years before a single leaf breaks the surface. No applause, no attention, just deep work. Because what's growing in secret is becoming too strong to be shaken in public. That's how your dream must grow. Not to be hidden forever, but to be anchored first. See? When you talk too early, you expose the blueprint to critics who've never built a thing. You open the door to voices that don't carry your vision, don't carry your faith, and definitely won't carry your burden. And when your vision is still fragile, one sarcastic laugh, one careless comment, one passive-aggressive good luck can plant doubt where confidence should be. This is why some of the greatest breakthroughs in life don't come with a big announcement. They come with silent consistency. You wake up, you grind, you build. No headlines, no cameras, just clarity and commitment. Because in silence, you hear better. You hear your calling more clearly. You hear your discipline kick in. You hear your excuses melt under pressure. And while the world waits for something to watch, you're building something it will never forget. Silence is where the strong get stronger. It's the gym before the game, the blueprint before the building, the fire before the fame. So if you feel unseen right now, good. You're in the best place you can be. When the spotlight comes, and it will, you won't be fumbling with explanations. You'll just point at what you've already finished. Stay silent, stay solid, stay building. When you speak too soon, you invite the wrong energy. There's a reason wise people don't talk much about what they're building. It's not because they're unsure, it's because they're aware. Aware that not every room is safe, not every listener is loyal, not every smile is sincere. And the moment you open your mouth about what you plan to do, you give people power they never earned. You give doubters a target. You give critics a timeline. You give jealous hearts a reason to work against you. And some of them, they won't come swinging directly. No, they'll come disguised as advice. They'll come asking questions that sound supportive, but plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. Are you sure that's a good idea? Don't you think that's a bit too ambitious? Isn't someone already doing that? Why don't you wait until the timing's better? Sound familiar? They'll say it gently, but their words are poison. And if your foundation isn't firm, you'll drink that poison and call it perspective. Jealousy doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers through concern. So you must be ruthless with your boundaries, because not everyone who hears your dream deserves access to it. Your ideas are sacred, your vision is spiritual, and when it's still in the womb, it's vulnerable. Would you take a newborn baby and throw it into a crowd of strangers? Of course not. Then stop doing that with your goals. Stop explaining to people who only understand limitations. Stop proving yourself to people who want to see you stuck. Stop thinking exposure will bring you clarity. It won't. It'll bring opinions, it'll bring noise, it'll bring energy that wasn't meant to enter your process. See, the wrong energy doesn't just slow you down, and it makes you question yourself. And once you start second-guessing your next step, momentum dies. And when momentum dies, regret is born. You don't need that. What you need is insulation. You need your environment to be clean, focused, and protected. Let your work be louder than your words. Let your results speak when the time is right. Because when it's built, they'll ask, when did you do all this? And you'll smile and say, when you were talking, I was working. Silence is not stagnation, it's precision in motion. Some people think if you're not talking about it, you're not working on it. Let them think that. Because you're not here to update, you're here to execute. Silence doesn't mean stillness. Silence means focus. It means you're moving with precision, not with pressure. You're not rushing to prove. You're building to last. See, real builders don't shout from rooftops. They work in trenches. They don't ask for praise in the process. They prepare for impact. You ever notice how the tallest buildings take the longest to construct? Because their foundation runs deep. They don't rush the layers. They don't skip the structure just to show a facade. You can't microwave mastery. You can't shortcut strength. But most people don't understand that kind of process because they live for performance, not progress. They live for the announcement, the applause, the attention, not the alignment. And that's why they fall apart when no one's watching, because their identity was built on visibility, not value, but not you. You're learning to build in the dark, to find peace in progress, to let your work become so solid, it can't be shaken by silence. And in that silence, you discover something most people never will. Discipline that doesn't need applause. You stop needing motivation because now it's built into your character. You stop depending on validation because now your standards speak louder than compliments ever could. You wake up and move even when no one sees you. You train even when no one's cheering. You stay consistent even when progress feels invisible. That's the kind of quiet that makes noise later. And when the time comes to reveal what you've built, you won't have to convince anybody. You won't need a press release, you won't need a speech, because results talk louder than announcements ever will. You didn't come here to impress, you came here to impact. And that starts by turning down the volume on the world and turning up the heat on your own execution. Stay locked in. The quiet phase is where champions are made. Silence protects your peace while you build. Emotional protection. When you're building something meaningful, whether it's your vision, your discipline, your legacy, you're going to feel everything. The pressure, the doubt, the impatience, the temptation to compare, the urge to explain. When you build in silence, you protect yourself from the emotional chaos that destroys most people before they ever get started. You stop inviting unnecessary questions. You stop absorbing other people's stress. You stop explaining your process to people who weren't assigned to it, because when you talk too early, you create room for interpretation. And nothing kills peace faster than trying to correct people's misunderstanding of your purpose, so stop doing that. You don't owe clarity to the crowd while you're still becoming clear yourself. Let me say that again. You don't owe clarity to the crowd while you're still becoming clear yourself. Silence gives you the space to grow without being pulled in 50 directions, to develop your own rhythm, to build the muscle of inner validation, to become rooted in your purpose, not other people's perception of it, because when peace is protected, progress becomes inevitable. The world will keep spinning, people will keep talking, but you'll be moving in purpose, untouched by noise, and grounded in something deeper than applause. And don't misunderstand silence for loneliness. There's a big difference. Loneliness is craving the world's presence. Silence is choosing your own. And it's in that chosen stillness where you find peace. And in that peace, you find power. You're not avoiding the world. You're training for it. Quietly, boldly, unshakably. So when the door opens, you don't walk in with noise. You walk in with proof. So remember this. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove. You don't need to convince anyone who was never meant to understand your calling. Let your silence be strategy. Let your discipline be your defense. Let your consistency speak louder than any announcement ever could. Because when it's built, when it's strong, when it's untouchable, no voice, no doubt, no enemy can tear it down. Keep building quietly. Keep walking boldly. And when the world finally sees it, they'll realize what you were doing all along. You weren't hiding, you were mastering. So stay locked in, stay private, and above all, stay faithful to the vision, even when no one's clapping, because one day soon, they won't just see what you built, they'll feel it. And by then, it'll be too solid to shake, too strong to break, and too powerful to ignore. Build it in silence, so when it speaks, the whole world listens.